Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Jeremy Sutton with Healthy SBC Podcast. I am here in Shreveport, Louisiana at Rapid Recovery with Mr. Bob Wheeler. And we're going to be talking about his amazing business here in Shreveport, how he helps people with IV therapy. Bob, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, awesome. Sure. Well, we're just going to get right into it. You know, tell the listeners who you are and what you do.
I am a former neonatal therapist, actually.
Okay.
Believe it or not. And I do... in my, quote, day job, when I started this, I consult for doctors and hospitals.
Okay. So
I do ancillary services. I help them set up home healths and hospices and urgent care centers. And I noticed that, like in the ER or in an urgent care setting, a bag of fluids with a little nausea med, a little pain med, and a vitamin in it can cost your insurance. I'm not kidding about this. $3,600.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you walk into the ER and you get our $170 package. It's $3,600 to your insurance company. So if you get a 20% copay, $720.
Yeah.
It's insane. So I was out in Vegas and I ended up getting one, and it was a stellar deal. I felt like Elvis after about an hour. And my first thought was, I completely misjudged the market, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to come to Shreveport and become like a hangover clinic because of all the casinos.
Right.
We literally have no hangovers.
Wow.
It's true.
That's surprising, actually.
It is. We're 8%.
Wow.
We can track it. We're 8% hangovers. We opened this. The one thing I didn't like about the one in Vegas was everybody was in a big room, and and that's kind of weird. I'm a little nervous about needles, and I don't want somebody giving me an IV in front of 17 other people. And there were 25 people in that room.
Oh my gosh.
So I thought, what if I do this and everybody gets a private room, with like a recliner and all that. So we came back and did it, and no hangovers. It was funny, but we ended up starting to see people that were like outdoor workers.
Right.
Because they're constantly dehydrated.
Yeah.
And then their safety officers figured it out. And they're like, hey, Bill, how come you're at work every day and Joe's always leaving because he's dehydrated? Oh, I got this place called Rapid Recovery. And now the companies send their employees to us and they put a credit card on file.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that's what we do. We just do IV fluids. We don't do anything else. We do some vitamin injections. We don't do any Botox, or we don't do Restylane or laser therapy for weight loss or any of that junk that doesn't work.
Good. Well, so I read your story on your website and the 7-year thing and being in Vegas and all that, but why is it important for you to do that here in Shreveport?
Okay, do you want to know? Do you want the pat answer that would be good for the marketing, or do you want the truth?
No, I want the truth.
I have a hero complex.
Okay. Yeah.
I really do. I'm the guy that if there's a car on the side of the road, I stop. Yeah. If I see something on fire, I jump out. I'm just that guy.
Yeah.
I don't get my jollies out of money. I don't get anything like that. But there's nothing that makes me any happier than when somebody says, "Hey, are you that guy from Rapid Recovery?" Yes, I am. I went there. I was sick as a dog. It was the worst day of my life. I left and I felt so great. And or somebody says, "You saved my business meeting," or I wasn't going to be. My kid was in the high school playoffs, and we weren't going to be able to make it. Or my favorite one, and I this is sound terrible. There are women who will come in here crying and nauseated from a migraine, and we put them in the back room, turn down the lights, get a little cool in there, put a fan on them. We give them oxygen and an IV with pain meds and nausea meds and all that kind of stuff. And in 30 minutes, they feel great. And an hour later, they're walking out and they're laughing and they're joking with everybody. And
wow,
that's my thing, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's my thing. I just want everybody to go, we love that guy.
Yeah, I love it. No, that's cool. It's honest.
My wife hates it. She's like, when are we going to concentrate on profits? I'm like, who cares? Everybody loves us.
Yeah, my wife's that person too. I'm like, it's great. We're having fun. We're serving people. Yeah, but we're not making any money. So yeah,
I'm like, hey, the preacher's not driving a Mercedes either.
That's right. There you go.
But we all love him.
That's perfect. So you're talking about getting IVs, getting oxygen, all these things. Who's doing that? Is it just somebody off the street you're training that's giving these people IVs, or is it?
Oh, no. So that's one of our things. We only hire RNs.
Okay.
It's not that I don't think that a paramedic could do it. They could. There's no question. If you, like I was telling you earlier, if you can drive down a Shreveport Road at 40 miles an hour with all the potholes and put a needle in somebody,
you're doing awesome.
You're doing great. We hire the RNs because we custom mix all our bags.
Gotcha.
So, and we only hire RNs actually who have 5 years experience, and they have to have been from the ICU, the ER, or believe it or not, labor and delivery.
Sure.
Because you give a lot of IVs there.
Yeah, that's intense.
So you have to be the person, and then they come and they train with somebody, and if they don't, and they have to do a couple of IVs, if they don't get them on the first stick, we don't take them.
Oh, good.
I know that sounds horrible, but
no,
I don't. You know, when you're in the hospital and it takes somebody 3 times to get you, it is what it is. You're in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
But you don't intentionally come into a place like this where we're giving you one of these things and a snack bar and all that so that somebody can jab you.
No, absolutely not.
And
God,
so, and plus we custom mix all of our bags, and in order to mix anything into a bag, you have to be an RN.
Gotcha. Perfect. And you actually have a piece of equipment that keeps the infection rate to like nothing, right?
Yeah, we bought a laminar vent hood. Okay, so I'm one of those people that I know this is more idiocy by me. That it is what it is. My grandpa used to tell me, "Good enough never is."
Yeah, right.
And that's just a thing. Good enough never is. So I saw one of those in a pharmacy one time in my regular day job, and I asked the pharmacist, I said, "What is that thing?" And she told me what it was. It's a laminar vent hood, and it makes sure that there's no way that there will be an airborne infection. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, there's no way you're going to get an airborne infection from sticking that needle into that thing and then sticking it into another thing. But apparently it's a thing. So I did some research on it, and it was like $3,500. But I know if I didn't have that, I wouldn't feel right.
Right.
So I didn't do it, magnanimously.
Right.
When I first saw it, I didn't. I'm like, $3,500? I don't have $3,500. And then I sat at home staring at the ceiling, for like the next week going, I got to have those things. I got to have those things. I got to have those things. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so we put it on a credit card.
There you go. You got to be the hero. We got to get this machine.
I know. It is cool, though. Once in a blue moon, we'll have somebody walk through here who's a pharmacist or a doctor or a nurse or somebody, and they'll see in, because we let people, if they want to see their bag get mixed, we let them do it.
Yeah.
Because, you want to know what's going into your
right,
rooms,
absolutely.
right?
I do, for sure.
Absolutely. So we say, hey, look, if you want to get your bag mixed, go on in there with the nurse. It's cool. We might put a mask on you, and you got to stand back 5 or 6 feet. Don't touch anything.
Right.
But, and they'll go, hey, is that a vent hood? Like, yeah, it is. Like, good grief.
That's awesome. And that's what you want. You're like, hey,
yeah.
We want you to know we're getting it there.
Yeah.
All right. So what made you, choose Rapid Recovery IV? I know you've already talked about a lot of that, but is this, could you have just come back to Shreveport and done something simpler, or?
Probably could have done something a lot more profitable.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of thing that, hospitals don't like us.
Sure.
And neither do, and I didn't count on that, neither do urgent cares, because, right. We're taking away business that they could, you go to a place like one of these freestanding ERs and you go in and you've got the flu or something. They run a CT scan, an X-ray, and all this sort of stuff, and they're blowing it out for $10,000 or $15,000. You come in here and you feel better for $150, and they hate that, right? And so I didn't count on that. I could have done something like that, or any one of the other things. But this is like a really pleasant deal. People come here and they, all of our nurses and assistants. We try for everybody to be chipper. You know what I mean? I wanted to open something where I could come and sit and be proud of it and not have broken bones. And I don't really care about the money, to be honest with you. So I really cared more about something that helped people, that I could be a hero, and it was nice, and I enjoyed being around it.
Yeah.
Like, I never dread coming in here.
Gotcha. Well, that's good, because how many business owners can say that when they walk in their business, they don't, because I know so many, having owned a couple of businesses myself, you walk in, you're like, oh man, this is not going well. Yeah. We can't pay this bill. This light won't come on.
My day job, man, there are days that I look at my calendar and I go, oh man, I just don't want to do that anymore. But this, I love it.
I love it. That's awesome. So how long have y'all been serving people here in Shreveport? And I know y'all are opening up a Bossier clinic location, I believe.
So we incorporated in October of 2016.
Okay.
But we didn't open the doors until March 1st of 17.
Okay.
We were over on Centenary. Mm-hmm. And we didn't see our first patient until April 4th.
All right.
We literally went a month without seeing a single patient. It was crazy. Everybody in my family thought I was an imbecile, that I'd wasted a bunch of money.
Sure.
And at the time, we were doing things like, we never took a loan. We were financing it out of my regular paycheck. And so we were, eating Hamburger Helper every night and drinking $3 bottles of wine on the weekend, and that was it. And so that went really well after a while. And then we finally decided we needed to be somewhere nicer. So we moved here. And I think we've been in this building now since like 2018.
Right.
Then in 2020, we opened an office in Tyler, Texas. And man, you ought to go over and look at that place sometime. Woo, it's crazy swanky. Then we opened in Sunnyvale, Texas, which is like Mesquite, Dallas, on it. And then Longview, Texas, last year. It's doing really well. And then there are so many of these places popping up that our patients were telling us, "Hey, look, man, we love you. We don't want to go over here, but like they're 5 minutes away,
right?
And you're like 30 minutes away,
right?
And now that they've shut down all the roads and all that, it is miserable. So we said, you know what, we're going to open in Bossier.
Yeah.
So we found, literally, this is not a joke, by the way. Whoever built this building is the same person who built the other building, or he's a complete rip-off artist who just stole the plans from the county tax assessor. Because it's exactly the same building.
Yeah.
Like to a T,
That's
except
awesome.
that the lights are not the same.
Yeah. Well, good. I mean, that works out well.
Yeah.
So, who's your ideal person to serve with your business? I know you said you started for hangovers, and that's, 8%. So, who's the ideal person that comes in here?
For me and for Rachel, those are two different people.
Okay. Well, for you, Rachel's not here.
Right. So for the wife, it's the 55-year-old woman who isn't eating right, who is running all the time, and I don't mean running as in running, but
serving someone else all the time,
constantly doing something,
yes,
right? Like who has if you look at Rachel's little folder, or she carries one of these things, she doesn't do it on her phone; it's on paper, and it's just full of junk all day, every day. It's absurd. So that person, they don't eat right. They're picking up kids from school. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're doing the other. And they just get run down after a while.
Yeah.
And so they don't have the right vitamin. Like we use the vitamin called Infuvite that hospitals give to malnourished patients.
Oh.
So it's got everything in it.
Yeah.
It costs them like $13 a dose. Nobody knows that. They don't know how good it is, but they feel better. Right? And so that's Rachel's perfect one. Mine is so we've got some buddies that own a place called Gulf South Oilfield Services. Mm-hmm. And they come in here. Those are my guys. I like the guy. I mean, you can tell I'm wearing boots, and I didn't exactly dress up for this. My folks are like, the landscapers, the roofers.
Right.
Got a buddy who owns Longview Roofing in Longview. His guys come in because they're up on a roof. His sun's beating down on them all day. Or HVAC guys. Yeah. I like seeing those guys.
Yeah, I love it. So I tend more towards your wife's side because my mom's 61 and I like taking care of people her. But my dad, when he was still alive, he was on that side. He was always a manual laborer and did roofing, construction, oil field. So I like that, and they both of those need help.
Oh yeah. And it's funny too though. So when we're building, putting an office together, we have this deal where we do one room real girly for Rachel's people, and then we'll have one like in Longview that's got like a giant, longhorn horns up on the wall and cowboy stuff for me.
I love it. So what one piece of advice would you give the listeners to say, hey, this is how you can take better care of yourself and be more healthy?
I tell people this all the time. It's literally a job, or it's just a chore. So every morning, we get all these people who come in here all the time, and they're just simply dehydrated. Right. They eat right, but I'm like, Campbell, how much water are you drinking? Oh, I drank some yesterday. What? So the ideal deal, if you're not out doing strenuous activity and you're not in the heat, is you take your body weight in pounds, divide that by 2. Right. That's how many ounces of water you need a day.
Yep.
So I weigh 160. I need 80 ounces of water a day. That's 5 16-ounce bottles. I hate it. Right. I own a hydration business, and I hate doing that. But I do it. I do it every single day because you got to get up every morning and take a shower, right? You got to get up every morning and take your vitamins or your blood pressure medicine if you have high blood pressure, carvedilol, whatever you're taking. You've got to brush your teeth. You got to take out the trash. You got to walk the dogs.
Right.
This is just another thing. Just figure out from your doctor what vitamins you need to be taking. If you're a lady who's over 50, you probably need to take calcium, and you need vitamin D because you don't absorb calcium without vitamin D. Yeah. So just do it. Just put it on your thing, and it's an everyday deal. Like I'm going to help my brother this weekend in Houston, and I'm taking my vitamin package along right with me because I know.
Gotta take them.
And so everybody can do it. You give yourself a schedule. I get up and I drink a 16-ounce bottle of water in the morning. Then I drink one about middle of the morning. I drink one just before lunch, which helps me to not eat as much at lunch. Mm-hmm. I drink one about an hour after lunch. I drink one just before I'm leaving the office and on the way home. That's what I do in the car. I'll drink a bottle of water. And then I'll drink one at night. And so there's my 6 bottles. And I hate every last one of them, and I do it anyway.
Yeah, I know. I do too. I'm the same way. Awesome. Well, right now it's time for our SBC Spotlight. And so today's SBC Spotlight is brought to you by Rapid Recovery. Feel better faster. Whether you're recovering from an illness or jet lag, stayed in the sun too long, found yourself suffering from a migraine, worked or played too hard, or just plain drank too much, Rapid Recovery is here to safely, quickly, and effectively help you feel better faster. Our custom IV fluid packages are infused with vitamins, electrolytes, minerals, and medicines. Can be administered in your home, your office, your hotel, your event, or in our luxury facilities. And guys, it is a luxury facility. It's very nice. It's very comfortable. So I'm super excited about that.
Thanks.
So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions. You just go ahead and answer them. Where do our listeners go to contact you or your business?
rapidrecovery.net.
Perfect. Rapidrecovery.net. Super easy. Where are you located in Shreveport, and what's your address going to be in Bossier?
7330 Fern Avenue, Suite 1101. So we're all the way in the back.
Yes.
We're on Fern, halfway between East 70th and Burke Coons. We're at 1000 Chinaberry Drive in Bossier.
Oh, that's a great location.
Suite 501. Well, we did airline. We tried. No. It took us a half an hour to get a mile, so we decided we'd go over to Benton Road.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're making that road even better, so it's going to be much better. Why should our listeners use your business?
Safety, safety, safety.
Okay.
They can read the book. Go online, read the book. Do your research. There are other good places out there, but that's what I mean. We try to do everything the right way. And when you're talking about something like letting somebody put a needle into your vein, it's safety first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't matter how shiny the place is, right, or how nice they are. It's a medical procedure, and you better treat it like one. Just because you can get one at your hair salon doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Just because Vicky down at the
that's right,
Cut and Corral can do it doesn't mean you should.
That's 100% right.
Oh, man.
And she will, too. I promise you. She'll
do it. She'll do it. Absolutely. So Bob gave me his book, Bob Wheeler Jr., This Shouldn't Hurt a Bit. So Bob literally is the guy that wrote the book on IV therapy. I always like to talk to the guy who wrote the book, so I love that. Thank you for the book. You can check that book out. And so now it's time for our megaphone minute. You just tell me anything you want, whatever's important to you for a minute, and go.
Well, do you know what makes me super happy?
What's that?
About 2 days ago, I do the Bible in a Year podcast where you listen to that every day and you work your way through it.
Yeah.
And we finally got out of Exodus.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing it too. I'm doing the Bible recap. I'm in Leviticus, no, I'm in Numbers. So I started earlier.
What happens is, they do Leviticus at the same time they do Exodus, and so we're out of those right now, and we're into Numbers and Deuteronomy. And I'm just to tell you, I'm not saying Numbers is great. Right. It's not, but man, I know everything about how to make a curtain for a thing and how many cubits a table needs to be. And I'm telling you, when he said on there, he goes, "Today's our last day in Exodus. I'm probably going to hell for this," but all I could think was, "Hooray!" So I've been in the best mood ever for the last 2 days because I don't have to do that anymore.
Oh my goodness!
I'm waiting for the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff's coming.
I do this every year. Yeah. I know it's going to be a drag. Although right now I'm in the middle of no Coke I'm having no Cokes at all, no fuzzy drinks of any kind. So this is a flavored water for Lent.
That's what's wrong with you.
Yeah,
no Coke.
It really is. That's why I'm sleepy all the time. No Diet Coke, no nothing. Awesome. Not even at night I drink it. So at night, in order to help me lose weight, I drink this Diet A&W. It tastes like you're getting a treat, but you're not. And there's no calories and there's no caffeine. And I can't even have that right now. Man, better than last year. I gave up coffee.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it at all.
It was the worst 40-something days of my life.
I don't even trust people that don't drink coffee. Awesome. Bob, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
That was awesome.
Guys, listen, if you need IV therapy for feeling bad, all the things I listed before, reach out to Bob at rapidrecovery.net. This is a fantastic location. I know the one in Bossier is going to be amazing too on Chinaberry, so check it out, and thank you for listening.
Thank y'all.